I'm going to show you with a sketch up here, give you a quick tutor. This is using the app, so not the web thing, but it's pretty much the same. We'll delete that. First thing we're going to do is we're just going to draw a rectangle, and we're going to, the whole goal of this is I'm going to show you how to do the basics of making copies, everything like the basics for using SketchUp, using references, etc. So anyway, here we've chosen the rectangle tool. I'm going to drag it out. All right. And then we're going to use the pull tool to make it into a 3D shape. All right, now we'll kind of make it off-centered. So it's not a rectangle, not a square. I like using these guide tools. You double click on this axis and it creates a line. You can see it's kind of black. I'm going to double click here and it's going to make another guideline. I'm going to click the move tool. I've shown this before. I'm going to move this line and I'm not going to move it. See how that arrow or the line there is green? Here it's black. There it'll be blue. Should be able to make it kind of red. It's not really going to change anything. But that's where you're kind of like moving in space. Here you're moving in the same plane. Right? And that's what we want to do. We want to move it along this axis. So let's move it out here. We're going to take this one and we're going to move it out here. We're trying to create a guideline because what we want to do is we want to make this shape and we're going to make a dupe over in this corner. And we want to also demonstrate how to make a surface that you can see that I'll flip it back so it's facing that surface. So that's where we're going to place it. Right? Next thing we're going to do is we're going to make this so that we can tell, which side it is. We're going to put a little pipe kind of thing out there. So once again, we're going to find a guideline. We're going to make the guideline on this edge. We're going to make a guideline on this edge. All right. Same thing. We're going to see we've got, I can't tell. Make sure this one's selected. So we've got that guideline selected. And we're going to pull it from the midpoint. And see now here he's pulling out this direction, but we want the thing to be, we're trying to find the center of this face. So we went on the green, right? So the green will be the same dimension. Now it's not going to tell me if I'm in this area, if I'm in the midpoint, but if I'm up here, it'll pick the midpoint. Now it's black, right? Because we're not in the plane, but it's okay because we found that's the midpoint of that line. Pick this guy, hit the move tool. So I'm going to grab him there. We're at that midpoint. So now we're ready to make our little pipe. You can see if that's pretty much in the center. All right, so making the little pipe out, we're going to go from the intersection. See, like if I'm there, it's on the line. Here it's on the face. Here it's in the intersection. Once again, you see how it's blue, green, and then black. It's in space. So we want it to either be on the face with green or on the face with blue. Doesn't really matter how big it is. We'll do like so. select, like you could pull this out or you could pull this out. Let's make it a pipe and pull it straight out. Not make it so big. You can make this into a component, yada, yada, yada. I'm not really sweating on that. In the app, if you're selecting this pans the camera, or I think it's orbit the camera. This orbits. This pans it. The mouse wheel will zoom. All right, so he's there. Now, if you use this, you're going to be clicking the individual things. This is not a component, right? It's not even a group. But if you use this, you can highlight, and everything that it touches will get selected. It'll get the stuff from behind as well, right? Those parts are selected. So the surface, the lines, etc. But we don't necessarily want these guidelines to be copied. So we're going to go back. You see down here where it says shift equals add or subtract. So when I hold it down, let it up, hold it down. If I hold it down, the keyboard is kind of messing up. Oops, hit Control Z. Oh, my bad. Let's redo. All right, let's try this again. We're in the right thing. I think my keyboard is losing the toggle. All right. Here we go. Oops. Oh my goodness. Control Shift. Redo. Let's try this again. My keyboard, I think, is Bluetooth and it's kind of losing it. All right. Shift down. Shift down. All right. So right now, if I were to move it, it would literally move this thing, but we're going to make a copy to put over here, and then we're going to flip it back. So once again, you see down here the hints. You can do a copy if you're doing Option. So I'm going to grab it here. Is it going to show up? Come on. Plus, there we go. All right, I'll place it there. But that's not really how I want it. I want it to be in this area. So I want this facing this way, and I want that corner. So, and this flip command, it says flip along the axis, right? So we want to flip along the red axis. So there we go. And then we're going to hit the move. I'm going to get that corner. And click on the intersection. All right, so now if we were to, let's just do it again. Let's do the same thing and make sure he ends up there. So now we're going to get the plus. He's there. On the intersection. So he's not going, so we've got a problem because we're not going to get an intersection because we haven't added a guideline. So let's click here, double click. Now there's a guideline there and you get an intersection. Come back and select this guy. Let's get rid of these things. Select that, hit delete. It's the alternate way of getting rid of the stuff. All right. Hold the shift key down, get rid of that. Hit the copy, hold the alt button down. It's now the plus. We can put it there. And now you can see it's in the right orientation, right? So anyway, that's the quick and dirty overview of how to use SketchUp.